Hi guys, welcome to Inside Tartary. So today we're going to talk about the Phoenicians. Were the Phoenicians really the ones who discovered America? If you don't know who the Phoenicians are, they are the Mediterranean people, all the way from Lebanon to the Levant, all the way to Greece. So were the Creek? This is what we traditionally think of as a Creek Indian. But what if I told you that's not exactly what they look like? These are all Creek Indians. Look at the difference. This is a Creek monument. Looks very Greek, like an obelisk. These are Creek ships. This is a Creek woman also. Also Creek and Seminoles from Florida. Now you may say, well, if the Creek were here 15,000 years ago, how did they get? Well, we know that Phoenician ships that are over 15,000 years old could make it to the Americas. They actually did this in 2010. So, Creek. Now remember, the Phoenicians started the written language. There's the map of in 2010 when they did this trip and they came to the coast of Florida, where these people, the Seminoles, live. Now you may think this is the Greek, but it's not. This is modern day Greeks wearing traditional clothing. That looks very similar to the Creek clothing. Very odd. And then these are Greeks. I bet you didn't realize the Greeks look like this. All Greeks look very similar to what we would call the Seminole Nation of Florida, or the Greek, or maybe the Creek. Again, all Greek, guys. A Greek woman. Traditional dress. Now these American Indians, they look very Arab, don't they? They're from California. These are Greeks. These are Creeks. So did the Creeks speak Greek? Well, they did. We know now that a lot of the Greek ancient language was from ancient Phoenician who invented the written language. And that language is found in the Creek language of America. Here's a Creek guy showing you written language. So the Phoenicians probably came here about 10,000. They were known as masters of the sea. They would go on the ocean when no one else would. The Romans wouldn't, but the Phoenicians would. So did the Phoenicians come over here about 15,000 years ago? Guys, if you're liking this, please subscribe, comment, and like. Now, here's some Native Americans that I saw on Thanksgiving weekend. I have Cherokee in me and Lebanese, which is Phoenician, from Lebanon. And you can see these Cherokees doing their tribal dance. And all the different races of Creek and Cherokee people, as white as salt to as black as coal. So the Phoenicians were known to go all over. They were a shipping empire. And we built a Phoenician ship and did these in 2010 and 2020. And we found it is very possible to make it to Florida in one of these ships. And these ships would have been about 15,000 years ago. These ships were very capable to cross the oceans. Now, here's a picture of a Creek in traditional clothing talking to the Europeans. Now, here's a picture of the Greek in traditional clothing talking to the Europeans. Do you see, guys? Now, does the architecture make sense? You look around, you look at this amazing statues in this architecture, these domes and pergolas. What about the Tartarian flag? Well, that can't have a connection with Greek, does it? Oh, yes, it does. There it is, right there, on the Parthenon. Now, that's a griffin. Now, do you see why DC looks like it does? Or maybe Athens looks like it does? Or how about the fact that in Athens, they have all of these Parthemons and statues. Looks like the Statue of Liberty, maybe? But also in America, we have the biggest Parthenon on Earth. Do you know that? And you can go inside it. I've been there. It's in Nashville, Tennessee. They claim it was built for the World's Fair. It's the biggest on Earth. Look at that. It's the exact size. People come from Greece, from this one, and this one, all from over here just to come see this one in Tennessee. See, the Greeks and the Creeks are all the same ancient society, guys. They're the Phoenicians. They created the written language. They traveled. They were merchant men. They knew the secrets of the world. They were what we may call Tartarian, Moorish, Islamic, Alabama, Lok Ovichopi. So now, the truth of all this is starting to make sense. We did not come over here in the 1600s. We came over here 5,000 to 10,000 years before that. Or maybe we came from here and then went to Greece. What if that's the case and we just came back? From an old to a new to a new to an old. We're just returned home. Again, guys, these are the things they don't want you to know. They don't want you to understand. They don't want you to look into. Look at all the different races, again, of the Creek. We can prove in 2019 they did it. Creek speak Greek. Came from East Mediterranean? Yes, they did, guys. They did. So now that we know this, what does this really mean? How long had these buildings been here? How long had the Greeks known they were the Greeks before their history was erased? How many African Americans today aren't even African, but are Creek, aka Greek? So again, here's a Creek. He looks like he's really telling something. Maybe he's telling them, you knew me as a Greek. And that Greek looks very African, or native, as we would say. But they tell you, no, this is the Creek, and this is all you need to know. Well, we know that's not true. So there's more that we're going to talk about in upcoming videos to get deeper into this subject of the Phoenicians and why they came over here, and that they were maritime men, just like the Vikings, who were also connected to the Phoenicians. The red-haired giants of the South United States from Alabama, like Chief Tuscaloosa, all of these are connected together from the Phoenicians and the Greeks who came to America, probably had already been here. Maybe when it was Atlantis, maybe when it was the Garden of Eden. Oh yes, the Garden of Eden. We're going to talk about that. Some say it's in Florida. Could that be the case? We'll find out in future videos. But one thing we do know is there was too many similarities between the Creek Indian culture and the Greeks for it to be just mere coincidence. 10,000 miles from each other with no connection, but somehow speak similar languages, have similar histories, similar attire, and similar way of life. It's all fascinating inside Tartaria. I hope you keep joining us. I hope you tell us what you think about this. Do your own research. What can you find? Are you Creek? Are you Muskogee? Look it up. Look up who are you related to in your recent past. Or who are they trying to keep you from knowing who you are? It's really fascinating, guys, and we're going to get deeper into this in upcoming videos. If you like this content, please like, please subscribe, please share, please comment. We love you to comment. It helps boost the algorithm. And thank you for donating so we can keep doing this, and we're going to go to different locations. We'll make sure to go to Nashville and show you the Parthenon. We'll go to all these locations to show you that our history is much more miraculous than they tell it is. Thanks again, guys. And stay inside. Tartary.